we need to talk about Red Dead Revolver and its story because it's kind of crazy. If you remember where we're at from last time, or if you don't, then I'll catch you up. That guy in green killed the main character's parents. His name is Red. So Green killed Red's parents. This is a flashback to before Red's parents were killed. That guy in black is General Diego. He's the Mexican general. That soldier is really ugly. So General Diego in this flashback is holding back the Yankee army, is protecting the Rio Grande, and he's successful. When he finishes, there's only one survivor, and it's a civilian. Some guy who's trying to cross the river because he found a mine that's full of gold. That asshole is actually Griffin, which is Red's dad, Nate, Nate's partner. So when it comes down to it, they believe that Nate's partner, Griffin, is a spy, and they're about to kill him when he says, "I have gold." General Diego makes a great point. He says, "Why should I keep you alive and take half when I could just kill you and take it all?" And Griffin says, "You don't know where it's at." What? He could find out. And eventually, you'll see later in this video, Diego does get told the location of the mine. So why does he not take the gold at some point? It never makes sense. But you're just going to have to ignore that. So for some reason, the sheriff seems all evil. He's taunting Red, throws him in jail, tells him this backstory. You really think the sheriff's going to be a bad guy. You're like, how else could he know all this? That's never explained. So this is the cutscene right here where Griffin says, "You don't know where it is." Like that means that's any reason to leave him alive. Griffin also is the first one to put out his hand and shake on becoming new partners. So we figure out that basically Griffin, to live, tells Diego to go kill Nate, which is Red's dad. The thing is though, Darren, the guy in green, he's the actual guy who kills Red's parents, and he gets the least amount of screen time, and he really doesn't get punished all that much. Now, at this cutscene right here, the sheriff shows that he's a good guy because he lets you out of jail and says, "Go kill Diego, Tiger," for some reason. I mean, I guess he is a Mexican general, so it's not like it's against the law. Like killing Griffin would be against the law because he's an American governor. So Red goes to find a gold transport. Diego will move gold from the mine to Griffin's mansion, and we're here to investigate. This mission is actually really fun. They're trying to make things a little more open world, so they give you a map, and you're allowed to stealth around and stuff. Stealth doesn't actually work in this game. There's no stealthy mechanics like killing people with an animation or one-tapping them if they're unaware. So really, I just kind of crouch down and shoot people with a shotgun. This is a fun mission, and it's settled rather quickly. When I was younger, I remember this being a whole ordeal, but as an adult, I can perceive it how it really is. This whole mission took maybe, I think, 2 minutes, and that's not an exaggeration. So I also want to point out the fact that Red has spent all of this time dicking around, catching bounties, and only just now, after 12 years of searching, randomly found out about the one-armed man by going to a bar, which is the first thing Annie Stokes thought of. She's like, "Why don't you go to the bar and ask around?" He goes to the bar and doesn't even have to ask around. There's some fucking regulars there who are talking about the one-armed man who replaced his arm with a cannon. That's the guy in green. So as you can see, this stagecoach is really easy to kill. When you're playing this mission, you kind of just follow around on a horse and shoot it. This map is open in air quotes, but there's no landmarks. It's kind of just a circle. It's just a room for you to run around in. And the next mission, the mine, is even worse. Before we get too far in, I want to point out that these are the worst missions in the game, here right in the middle. So one-armed man sneaks up and knocks us out, and rightfully wants to kill us, but thankfully Diego wants to question us about something. I don't know what it could possibly be, and they take us straight to the fucking gold mine, which is just so convenient for the plot, but makes no sense at all. Now at this point, Shadow Wolf comes into the story. Shadow Wolf is actually related to Red, they're cousins. You have to remember that Red Harlow's mom was a native woman, and so they actually have connections to the tribe, which is cool, and it comes into the story, and it also makes no sense later in a couple minutes when I show you that we're going to be killing Native Americans for no good reason in this game. Not that there ever could be a good reason, but it's just completely contrived. It's actually kind of gross and dumb. So playing the Shadow Wolf though is pretty fun. The bow kind of sucks, but his special ability where he lights people on fire, and then if they touch each other, they light each other on fire. That is very fun to use in Showdown. You can see two people that are fighting each other, maybe they're punching. If you shoot one of them, they'll both light up and they'll lose a ton of health. It's very satisfying. Off the top of my head, Grizzly is probably the easiest fight in the game. The whole gimmick with him is that he has poison on his claws, so if he hits you, you'll walk around like you're on fire, reacting as if you're stung by bees. You'll go, ah, it burns, and your health goes down. But look it, the puzzle is, he jumps around, and when he stops to throw something at you, you shoot him, and you do like 15% of his health per shot. He is the easiest boss. He's not even a puzzle. He kind of breaks all the conventions of the other bosses because he's not a puzzle. Next, we see that Red is in jail with Buffalo Soldier, and I'm not joking, so far I haven't found any more information on Buffalo Soldier. It's really unfortunate because he's the only black person in the game, and he doesn't have a name. His name is Buffalo Soldier. And the segments when you play as him are pretty underwhelming. I wouldn't say that they're the worst, but the only time you play as Buffalo Soldier is when he's riding on top of a stagecoach, so you can't even run around a level as him. Now this mission here, the Mines, is my least favorite level in the entire game, hands down. Love that spelling of no one. Completely correct, actually. Just kidding. So we've got 3 keys here. We have to get a 4th one. And this 4th key, I don't even think opens her cell. Oh no, it does. And then when we get into her cell, it's just to get another key to fight these guys. Going through the mines is confusing, it's slow, it's irritating, it's unrewarding. They want you to use stealth, otherwise you get overwhelmed, but there is no stealth. This is also a boss fight here where you fight Ted and Tom or whatever, but they aren't actually a puzzle. They're getting you ready for the future levels. When you get to the mansion, you're going to fight a bunch of characters with health bars, and they're just getting you ready to fight some basically alphas. You can think of them like elite enemies. So here, we've got our best friend, Buffalo Soldier, is saying, hey dude, I need to go get to the fucking governor and tell him what's going on out here. He doesn't know. We get attacked by Native Americans, which is stupid and a waste of time. And the coolest thing about Buffalo Soldier is that he can go prone. You might have seen. Since there's nowhere to take cover, you can hold the cover button and he'll just lay down prone. I don't remember if he can do that in Showdown. Probably not, if I had to guess. I really wish that Buffalo Soldier was fleshed out more as a character. I wish that he got a name. And I'll give you 2 guesses as to whether or not he lives at the end of the game. Out of all the characters, I'll let you guess which of them die.
Sorry I can't take any closer, but there's some desperate folks in need of these supplies.
Much obliged, mister.
So Buffalo Soldier is trying to make his way back to Griffin, the governor, the U.S. governor, who killed Red's dad and sold him out. He's basically trying to snitch on Diego to his boss, which isn't going to work. And what's great is that they're going to introduce another villain, Mr. Kelly, as if this game didn't already have enough bad guys. One thing that does frustrate me with this game is that Red is an idiot. He spends all this time not asking people about the mine, even though his dad told him about it. He doesn't interrogate people about the one-armed man. He literally kind of just fucks around, and then they find him, knock him out, and bring him where he's supposed to be. He's so lucky. I love this game. It's got better story than Dishonored, and it came out almost a decade before it. The presentation is also fantastic with the music and the film grain. It's a fantastic game. I love the story overall. And what video game doesn't have its weird plot holes or inconsistencies? And they just smooth them out even more in the next games too.